Our second speaker is Nico Human, and Nico is also a Master Certified Forum Chair. He's worked with MacKay Forums for the past 16 years, first as a member of a CEO peer group, and now he leads three CEO and two executive peer support groups in Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. With more than 30 years of experience working with hundreds of CEOs and executives, his purpose is to help leaders and their teams show up with inspirational joy that transforms their culture and leads to extraordinary business results. This is what brings Nico joy, and his little known fact is he is a proud certified laughter leader. Please welcome Nico Human. Nico Human.
Thank you, Nancy. Hello, everyone. I'm speaking about inspirational joy today because I think it's an essential business element we're missing out on. I came from South Africa for a better quality of life, and I lost that in the business world by working too hard. A recent Gallup poll revealed that 15% of full-time workers are disengaged at work. So that means a whopping 85% of people are not happy at work. And this is only getting worse with the new hybrid environments, or whatever you call the environment we're in right now, where people feel disconnected, and we need human connection more than ever. So I made it my life's work to bring inspirational joy to people, and I hope the message will land with you today. I believe this all can be turned around by the inspirational joy we bring. In my work with hundreds of CEOs and executives, both as a MacKay Forum Chair and with my own practice, I observe that those leaders that show up with inspirational joy are able to bring that joyfulness to their workplace. They have workers who are happier, they're more engaged, they're more loyal, and they're more productive. But today, especially, you can see where the disconnect are, and you can reach out and help those people because the person comes first, as we've heard from Ram this morning. Now, inspirational joy is so fundamental to the future of work that I designed the 3-step strategy that I've tried out, and it works. The first step is that you as a leader need to realize that it's your responsibility to show up with inspirational joy. If you come into a room and you're disheveled, you're disorganized, you're not looking out for other people, that's the energy you bring into the room. But if you can come with inspirational joy, that joy is infectious and it spreads to the room. If you're able to be in your creative mind and be curious and empathetic, you can reach out to the people in the room. And they may be a little screen on the Zoom screen, and you're missing out on that person if you're not showing up this way. I was coaching a CEO recently who was seeing very low levels of engagement from his team. And I was the fly on the wall, attended one of their meetings on a Zoom call as just an observer. And I noticed some real disconnect. Some people didn't even have their cameras on. There were a couple in the corner who never got a word in. And the CEO himself wasn't very good in this environment, and he even lost his mind once. He lost his temper, and it wasn't a good experience. So afterwards, we debriefed, and we spoke about what can happen. And we realized that his presence, inspirational joy, needs preparation. We can't just come into a room and be ready. We need to work on ourselves before we come in there. So the first step we worked on was mental toughness. He had to understand how his brain works and how he can change from one part of his brain to his prefrontal cortex when he gets triggered. So that gave him that. The second thing was his emotional intelligence. We had to get emotional mastery, be in charge of our own emotions, and then look at the emotions in the room and spot them so that we can work with them, because that's part of how we can help people being on this journey. Once we've done all of these exercises with him, the third thing he had to work on was his breathing and his presence as he enters the room. Because if we can show up in this way, we can be empathetic, we can see what's happening, we can see where the disconnect is, and we can help those people go along. Now, this CEO has seen a marked improvement, first in himself, and then also in his team. He now finds that he is much more focused in discussions with his team. He can spot disconnect, He's in full control of himself and the process. He can get alongside those that need his help, and the whole company is going forward together. That was step one, how you show up. Step two is you got to lead your team now to do the same. It's now time to make sure that your senior leaders show up with inspirational joy as well. Your job is to bring these skills to them, get them trained. You're their coach and their guide. When accountability starts with your example, you've got the credibility to now take it to the rest of the team, to everyone. This is essential because as the team goes, the rest of the company will go because they're leading. I was working with a leadership team where in a mere 3-hour Zoom session, we could move the needle for them through exercises. I call them human connection exercises. You see what I did there? My last name happens to be human, so it's human connection. And the leader went first on each of the exercises, and through her vulnerability, and the trust grew in the room, and people started following, and all this disconnect disappeared. They gelled as a team, and they become much more productive together. This leads us to number 3 of my strategy, extraordinary business results. Why would we do all of this if we're not driving our businesses forward? Once your leaders show up with inspirational joy, it's time to convert this to business results. You now have a team of super connected individuals that are much smarter than you are, and your job is to keep them accountable and inspire them. Your job is to make sure they have a regular cadence of very productive meetings where they spend at least 2/3 of their time on problem solving, on issue solving, and not on mere reporting and talking to each other. They become masters at identifying any issue at its root and to solve it at that root place because they've got open and trustworthy conversations. They're able to do that. They help you drive the process forward, find solutions together, and share the load and responsibility. A recent example of one of my clients who had to improve their cash flow in their business was a session to help the team bring more awareness, visibility, and accountability to all things that drive cash flow and or profit in their business. We built a plan for them to increase revenue and decrease expenses, with each driver assigned a champion for the team, the one person who took that forward. This set them up for success to effectively address the threat to their business. So there you have it. Are you ready to lead with inspirational joy? Are you ready to get your leadership team to show up the same way day in and day out? And lastly, are you able to continuously build your company's leadership muscle of joyfully knocking off every obstacle in the way? I've brought you 3 strategies. The choice is yours. Do you want to be part of the bad statistic or part of the good statistic? The choice is yours.